still in school?
Yeah.
Good morning and welcome, everyone.
Good morning.
Before we continue, please mute any of your cell phones so we don't have that to contend with. Also, I'm looking for any new first-time residents, but I don't see any this morning,
Get the key.
so I don't have anyone to introduce to you. Let's start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Stand if you can. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll call to order this meeting. And Bob, would you please do the roll call for us?
Yes. Is this working?
Yes.
Okay. President George Kempner,
Here.
the Vice President Angela Fick, Treasurer Wayne Fleischman. I'm Bob Henry, the Treasurer. The members at large, Karen Dorr, Pat Niemeyer, and with an excused absence, Beverly Adair, who's out of town.
Could you please also give us the approval, ask for the approval of our minutes from the last meeting, please?
Yes. You've all received the minutes of the June meeting, and therefore I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes. Wayne, Angela?
Thank you.
If there are no objections, then I declare the minutes approved at the last meeting.
Thank you. Let's go to the officers' report. Wayne, would you please start the treasurer?
Works better with it on. Okay, this is the report for the month of June. We had a beginning balance of $22,105.28. We had expenses of $81.82. Income in the form of donations of $368.75, which left a balance of $22,392.21. The income was mostly from the Employee Scholarship Fund at $153.75 income. Holiday Gift Fund had $176, and that came from the Cozy Corner Thrift Shop. The Library Fund had expenses of $81.82, and the Happy Hour Fund had income of $39. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Let's go into the reports of the special committees. The Activities Committee, would you please, Karen, give us that report?
Good morning. Can everybody hear me? Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I attended the July 5th Special Events Committee. All members were in attendance except for Jan.
You gotta get closer and talk loud.
Jan Bernal, who was excused. Others attending the meeting were Vanessa Villalobos, our community director, George.
It keeps going in and out.
Yeah, we can't hear her.
And myself, council member at large. We discussed the June events, and Margot came up with an idea that new residents attending the welcome reception should be coaxed into giving more information about themselves. and we agreed with that. Then we went over the July events. And one thing that's coming up is the Castaways are going to give their first performance July 26th at 3 p.m. in the auditorium. Light refreshments will be served, from what I understand. Wayne came up with a suggestion to have a champagne reception and the raffle of a valuable piece of jewelry, which was donated by one of the residents, to acquaint the new residents as well as new staff to the purpose of our thrift store, the Cozy Corner. The raffle tickets would be $1 each and redeemable at the store with no expiration date. Suggested date is August 3rd. The committee went over new ideas. Two upcoming ideas would be the La Quinta Museum, which has a interesting traveling exhibit with lunch in the area, and then the Rancho Mirage Library Observatory for those people who were interested in stars and planets. Vanessa is going to be getting schedules and rates and hopefully setting that up. We also went over fall ideas, which include Carrie Berman, a Coachella Valley historian, coming and giving a lecture. The McAllen Theater, the Palm Springs Art Museum, COD shopping, and what else? We went over quite a few things. Pioneer Town with lunch at Pappy's and Harriet's restaurant, and a windmill tour with a date shake after. If any residents have any ideas of things they want to do, people they'd like to come in to lecture, restaurants that they would like to go to lunch or dinner, please come to a committee member and let them know, or Vanessa. Thank you. Are there any questions? Oh, one thing, remember to look at the binders in front of the dining room because there are sign-up events. Thank you.
Pat, would you give us the food committee, please?
Yes, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We met on July 1st, and we had 5 members present, plus Angela, the council vice president, and
We can't hear you.
the chef.
Closer to the monsters.
Closer. Better?
Yes.
Better, okay. And everybody seems to be enjoying this.
Don't turn your
head. And you go away from the microphone.
Here, use this. Just back up.
Good. Okay, 5 members were present, and Angela was there, and also Chef Becky. Everybody seems to be enjoying the Sunday brunch, and CC's is doing pretty good. They were out just a little bit, but they seem everything is back. We discussed the tablets. You know, the tablets are for the servers to put in people's menus, what they want, and then they're supposed to be sent to the kitchen. And then the kitchen has them, and then the servers can go back and pick them up. But they have it where the menus are sent to the kitchen, but somehow they are not, they're in the tablets, but they can't figure out how to get them to the kitchen, so they're gonna call Spectrum and see if that can help. So it's been forever, I think. So we'll still be working on that. And our open table, there hasn't been too much response, but a couple of our servers, a couple of our members, we're gonna sit there and see if that would help. And that's at 5 o'clock. And so I go at 6, and I don't see many people there, but we'll discuss that at our next meeting. Also, we're informed that the servers are giving bonuses throughout the year. And if they've done a good job, and they are giving bonuses throughout the year. And the other bonuses that they get is if a server can't make it and calls in sick, and they call another person on the spur of the moment, and they come in and they can help fulfill that job, that they also get a bonus. Jeff was here, and I thought he was gonna be here to check on the kitchen, but he was checking on policies and procedures and equipment. So it was the wrong person there, so. And we have a new cook and waiting on background check for another dishwasher. Becky is very busy. She has a lot of paperwork to do. And so we are looking to see if we can get another food director that could help her with that. She said she'd really spend more time in the kitchen than doing all this paperwork. So, and Jose is still here. He comes in once a month and can help Becky.
Once a week.
Once a week, yes, once a week, sorry. And, I misread it. She mentioned that we were going to have fried chicken and ribs for the 4th of July. And that was good. The meeting was adjourned, and our next meeting will be August 5th, Friday. Are there any questions?
Could you tell us the status of hiring a new dining services director?
What?
Dining services director.
Maybe Ron can answer that, who's sitting in the back. Ron, can you give us any update on that?
I can. We have interviewed 3 separate individuals. One decided not to move forward with us. The other is not eligible for hire. We found out after we did the interviewing. And the third is being interviewed by our regional food service consultant today. So by the end of today, I may know if we have one or not.
Thank you. Any other questions for? Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Angela, would you please up and do the building and grounds?
Good morning.
Use the hand.
Can you hear me?
No.
Not really.
How about this? Any better? Raise your hand if you want to go up. The Building and Grounds Committee met on July 12th, and we noted that we have sent an appreciation plaque to our past chairman, Walter Ron, before he passed. And we were glad to get that to him. And incidentally, I'd like to mention that Gordon Finch has graciously stepped in to be our new chair with only a little cajoling. Alex Barba, our maintenance director, attended the meeting and considerable progress was noted. The south stairwell carpet has been repaired. The HVAC filter change should have begun Sunday, July 17, and he says yes. And it should be completed by early August. And a new schedule then will be repeated in February and hopefully every 6 months following. So that should be up to date finally. The window washing vendor was selected, and a schedule for service should be determined with a start date soon. And we're hoping that the finances will be amenable to a 6-month schedule, which will be determined. Security should have been marking our landscape lighting. And Alex will meet with the Allied company to reinstate that progress. And hopefully, if you see lighting that's out and there is not some kind of a marking on it, usually a blue piece of tape, you can call in, please, a work order to the desk. Alex walked the grounds with Umberto from Blue Agave, our gardening service, and the watering schedule was reviewed and some drippers were replaced. And he's going to continue to walk the grounds once a month to address any new or continuing issues. The west lobby heating issue that we thought was caused by the doorway, evidently it's caused by an air conditioning unit which is old and needs to be replaced. Assisted living door openers were installed at the courtyard entrance to assisted living. And solar lighting may be used for temporary lighting in that area, because to install more permanent lighting would take quite a while and go through several steps to be on the budget. The 500 courtyard and main pool cushions need replacing, but that must be a budget item, so Ron is going to discuss that with Ron and see if we can get that scheduled. And our next meeting will be August 9. Do you have any questions?
About the pool, I try to go every once in a while to the pool,
Which one?
Big one.
the big one.
Main pool?
The main pool. It's always green. It's all, and now I saw already small splotches of black algae. So there is not enough chemicals in that pool. Of course, it has 92 degrees. But you know what? It's not healthy to go in a pool like that. And the black algae can become a real problem. So I don't know what you intend to do.
I don't know, but I see Alex making a note right now.
Alex Salve, its director, is attending the meeting, and I'm sure that he'll look into it for us.
I will show him the black algae if he can't see it.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Has to do with the pool again,
Which pool?
the main pool.
Main?
The cushions are falling apart, they need to be replaced. Some of them are missing. The expansion joints in the concrete decking are wide open, that runner needs to be replaced. Years ago, a woman fell and broke her toe on that because it's wide open. Somebody needs to get out there and take a look at that pool area and do something with it.
Okay, so we have two issues. One is the, not flooring, but the concrete that needs to be level, so with,
Where the concrete's paths run into each other, there's a drainage ditch with a little cover over it. Well, the covers are missing and broken, and they create some problem that you could step on it and fall down.
Covers on the drains.
Yeah.
Okay, and I believe that Alex said that if you would be meeting with Ron to go over the number of cushions that are needed, and Ron says yes, that they're in the process of doing that to replace the cushions for the main pool area and the 500 courtyard. Oh, yes. Okay, so that's in process. Any other questions, please?
And the woman's bathroom has no light
No.
at that pool. The woman's bathroom
Has no one?
no light.
No light? It was
No.
out or there isn't any?
Well, there's lamps, but there's no light.
Burned out, in other words.
Burned out lights, okay. Alex is writing.
Getting a big list.
Did you have something, Alex, you wanted to say?
We dare you.
I think that I attended as a guest the Building and Grounds Committee, and for what we have seen, all of us on that committee, and myself, that Alex has really hit the ground running, and we are very happy with his follow-up reports, and I'm sure he will give us information on this by the time that we have another Building and Grounds meeting. And I think that's well deserved, thank you. Because Beverly Adair is not here today, she's asked Bob Winery to give a report on the scholarship committee. Bob?
Yes, the chairman of this committee is our council member Beverly Adair, who's out of town this week. But let me remind you that the scholarship committee is to make awards to non-management associates who are, in addition to working here at the Carlotta, are attending school and working towards a degree or certificate. We recently received a rather nice donation from a longtime resident family, and this brings the contributions this year to $3,700. And as you heard from the treasurer, the scholarship committee has now $17,000. At the present time, there are 5 applicants for scholarships, and they will be interviewed this month. And the plan is to be able to give them, the ones that qualify, and to get their award in August so that they can use it for their fall semester. If you have questions, I'll ask you to save them until the chairman.
In other words, you'd rather not hear the question, no? Thank you, Bob. As far as whole business is concerned, we really don't have any carryover. However, it's sort of a borderline because we decided early in the year that we were going to have our own survey of our residents, what we were calling a resident satisfaction survey. We decided to table that until about now, July. And I don't know if the time is any better, and I'm talking to my council members right now. So I'd like to maybe approach you by, what do you think about a survey to the new residents who have moved in? I contact each new resident within a week after their move-in on behalf of the resident council and welcome them and make sure that they're progressing as best as they can with their move-in and their units. I've heard some things from them that does not make for a pleasant move-in for some of these people. And I'm asking the rest of you how you feel about us conducting a survey, in-person survey, with those residents that have moved in during the past 12 months. That would be a total of 24 units or 33 residents. So Well, what do you think of us doing that? Comments? Anyone up here? You think it would be a good idea to do this? Go forward with this? Then let's go with a motion. Who will make a motion to go forward with this?
I'll make a motion.
There's a motion to proceed. Let's discuss it a little bit more. How I would see this, I would like to appoint one of the committee, one of the council members, Beverly Adair, because she was going to head up the satisfaction survey. So this will just transform into her doing this. And I think the main thing here, and that'll teach you to miss a meeting. Some of these, we've all experienced moving into here. And some of us had an easier time than others. Some had pretty difficult times moving in and realizing that with our age, any move such as this, maybe our last move, is very difficult at best. So we have heard comments, or I have heard comments such as, why don't we have an orientation meeting? Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? So I think the benefit of this, if we can do this survey, and then present the information we gather to management here, hopefully they can incorporate this into their various move-in procedures that they have. So that would be the intent of us doing this. Are there any comments from the audience that you'd like to talk about on this subject? Or in fact, any subject at this point in time?
Yeah.
Hold on for a mic, please. Thank you.
We used to have, is it on? We used to have the ambassador thing, which evidently, I don't know for what reason, but didn't work out too well, but that was the idea that an individual would be assigned to a new couple or a single person coming in and follow them and see what the problems are. Is there some reason? I mean, to me, that seems the absolute simplest way of achieving what you're aiming for. Is there any reason we don't, or weren't we able to get enough people to be the so-called ambassador, or whatever you want to call them?
To answer that last question, no. We couldn't get enough people because many people who had volunteered and were being used as ambassadors really got discouraged because on their first call to a new resident, they were bombarded with things that were wrong, things that weren't working.
I ran into that.
Good, then you know firsthand some of the problems.
Well, you got, I mean, the person has to be big enough to know where to go to get these problems answered.
It's true. I agree with all that. But we seriously had not enough people who were volunteering and those who we could talk into. And the those that we had, they were being completely overworked because they were getting one after another. And it became discouraging for them. To my left is Beverly and Gordon Finch, and I know we gave them quite a few people, but even they began to not back down. They never said we wouldn't take any more. However, you could see that they were being pushed too much. We have a little bit of a problem here, that we don't have enough people who are volunteering to give back to the community some things that they can do. So that puts the emphasis on just those few who want to give something back to the community. So your comment is very good, it's very true, but it hasn't worked recently. There was another hand who wanted to express something. Bill?
Just a question on surveys. We've had many, many surveys here, and I don't see that they've accomplished very much.
Well, they don't, because the way it's been done in the past, they note, a piece of paper is made up with a series of questions put into their box, and in most cases, they're not completed. The key word that I mentioned was an in-person survey. What we did when we had the pleasure of having some executives from Watermark in Tucson here, we actually assigned names to all of the council members to individually talk to each resident and get their question, if they had one, that they would like to ask if they were to be present at this particular meeting. So an in-person meeting with a resident does bring us a little bit more than a sheet of paper being put into their in-house mailbox. But you're right, Bill, absolutely right. And again, there would be no guarantee that anything that we uncover from the residents after we pass this information on to management would be used. It's still their bailiwick as far as what they do with a new resident moving in. All we know is that the easier we make it, or we try to make it for the new resident moving in, the better new resident that those people will be. Anyone else over here? So we'll go ahead with that. Go ahead.
Just to finish it up, the AVASA program kind of was cut off, and the management took over, meaning Molly and crew. Evidently, they took over, and that just was flat. No, it didn't work out at all. They had too many other things to do. So I would like to see us in some way I know getting people to, but we got so many people here now, I would think that try to see if we could gain any interest in a direct individual being responsible for people moving in. And I don't know any other way you can get it. You can't get it by management directive and all that kind of stuff. You gotta find people who are interested in doing that. You're right.
You're absolutely right in what you're saying. And that's been the problem, or just one of the problems. Anyone else? Okay, another pointed out to me last night in the dining room, and that is the transportation update that appeared in the Friday's Chronicle. And I noticed that Bob and Francis Culver are here, who also talked to me about this. And what it said was, under a transportation update, transportation will be returning to the loop schedule for all medical and shopping transportation. What does that mean to you? Beginning Monday, August 1st, you will not have to make reservations for your doctor's appointments or market outings. You will simply look at the loop schedule and make your arrangements from there. The loop runs Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. with the last pickup at 3 p.m. There is no charge for using the loop for your transportation needs. If you would like one-on-one transportation, a charge will apply. A schedule of the loop will be placed in your in-house mailbox this week. For any questions or more information, please contact Vanessa. Now, those of you who would be using this transportation for doctor appointments, mainly doctor appointments, do you understand what this means? Ron, could you give some clarification on that, or would you like to defer to Vanessa?
Vanessa will talk about it more at the FYI meeting.
Okay.
But the loop, we were doing the loop schedule prior to COVID.
Right.
But when we had to go to only one person in the bus or social distancing, the loop didn't work for that. So they started doing more one-on-one, one-off transport. But we're at a point where we can return to the loop. So what it means is that bus leaves the lobby every hour on the hour, goes around on a predetermined route around town, making stops anywhere along that route. And then comes back the next hour, repeats the same loop all the way through. So you would, if you had an appointment at 10:30, you would catch the bus in the lobby at 10, they would drop you off at your appointment, and then at 11:30, they would be back around to pick you up.
Francis, hold on for a microphone.
The only thing with that is the doctors don't want you sitting in their office, unfortunately. And the last time I went, they told me I could not take my husband with me. And then they want me out of the office, and that's the problem. I don't even think I can get, the loop doesn't even cover a couple of my doctors.
Okay. Well, you heard Ron say this, and next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, will be their FYI meeting. And let's save all these questions for Vanessa
Yeah,
at that meeting. That's a week from tomorrow,
okay.
at the FYI meeting. Correct, Ron?
Yes.
Okay, good. So if you have concerns about that, as Francis does, please, bring that to the FYI meeting. Are there any other questions we can answer or that you would like to speak up on? Having said that, if there's none, I move that we adjourn. Who will second that? Who will make that motion? And second? I second. Thank you very much. Have a good day.